So out of high school, I am into laying bricks and into the construction field, and this is the late 70s, and Carter's recession is really taking hold, and not a great place to be, but I was making more money than what my buddies were flipping hamburgers, and life was pretty good, but work was getting harder and harder to come by, and my back was hurting more and more at the end of the day, and my fingers were worked raw, and I thought, man, I don't like this. I want to be a financial planner. I want to be an investment. I need to go back to plan A. Now, let me tell you, Merrill Lynch was not impressed with a certificate from trowel trades. As a matter of fact, none of them would talk to me. I finally got somebody on the phone who told me that, well, look, you don't have a college degree, you don't have any experience in sales, you need to get some college, get some sales experience, and then come back and talk to us. So off I went, got a job in selling insurance because that was real easy to get, started taking classes in the evening, and in 1983, I got very lucky. A man by the name of Abe Diffenbach was the manager of the local Shearson office. Some of you know Abe, some of you know his dad. His father was one of the owners of New Holland Farm Stables, and so he granted me an interview because he liked that we were both farm boys, and he gave me the opportunity to take a test. And I was very good at taking tests. That's how I got through high school. I always tested well. I flew through these tests. I got onto the second interview, and in 1984, they offered me a job, and on March 17th, 1984, I passed the securities exam and was awarded the title of a financial consultant. And I started my career with Shearson at that time. And it was sometime shortly after that, my daughter, who was very young, said, Daddy, what do you do? And I said, I am a financial consultant. And she said, oh, what's a consultant? And I said, well, do you remember when we first brought Rex home and he used to go running around all night? Now Rex was a big yellow tomcat. And his name was actually T-Rex, but we kind of shortened it to Rex because after all, he's a cat and he didn't look that ferocious. But I said, do you remember when we first brought Rex home, every night he would go out and run around all night and he'd chase the girl cats around and he'd get in fights with the boy cats and he'd come dragging in the morning and he would sleep all day. And then the neighbors complained, and we had Rex neutered. And she said, well, but he still goes out and runs around all night. And I said, yes, but now he goes out as a consultant. So Shearson was quite an eye-opening experience because I learned that even though we had the title of financial consultants, what we were was financial salespeople. Because what the job of the brokerage firm was to manufacture products. What the job of the sales force was then to sell them to people. And so we would call people and we would sell them products without doing any kind of consulting, and that just didn't seem right to me. But Shearson had this personal review outline, which I kind of grasped onto, and it was a little 2-page questionnaire. And if you filled this questionnaire out and you sent it to them in New York, that they would write a plan and send it back. I thought, I can work with this. So I did a couple of these, and the first thing I noticed was that they were about 10 pages. 5 pages were disclaimers. So there really were only about 5 pages, and just about every single one of them looked the same. So this wasn't going to work, but it gave me a concept of how a plan should work. I went out and bought a computer, got some loaded spreadsheets, and started doing my own plans. In 1990, I moved from Shearson to Prudential Beige at the time because Prudential Beige had a color plan that they were doing, which was called a financial architect. Not a good career move. Had I done a little bit of research, which is what I urge everybody else to do, had I done a little bit of research, I would have realized that Prudential Beige was about to go through one of the ugliest lawsuits as they were being sued for limited partnerships. And so for the next couple of years, I put up with all kinds of bad press. Only when that was resolved, Prudential Insurance then was being sued for selling all of these universal life policies that were sold when interest rates were 14%. Now that interest rates were down to 5%, the policies were failing, people were losing their insurance. And so 2 or 3 years of bad press from that. On top of that, the portfolio architect, which was one of the main reasons that I went there, was 20 pages, but 15 of them were disclaimers. It was the same 5 pages, and they all looked the same, so I couldn't use it anyway. By the time that I was there 5 or 6 years. I was doing all my own plans. And the fallout from all of this bad press and from being sued for millions for limited partnership sales and then being sued for millions for insurance sales, what had happened was that the organization was pretty much run by the compliance department. And the last thing that they wanted was some guy in Lancaster creating his own plans. I thought that we should be doing tax analysis. No, we can't do any tax analysis. You're not a CPA, we don't want tax analysis on there. I thought if we're doing projections showing 8% returns, we should be tracking performance. Oh, that was horrible. Track performance? We don't do that. We're not doing that. You are not doing that.